And welcome, friends and family, to another Monday edition of Bet. I am Tyler Fulgham. She is Anita Marks, and we may be on different coasts, but through the wonders of technology, together we can bring you this Monday edition of Bet. Don't forget, Anita, before we dive into Monday Night Football, some Major League Baseball, that if you want to check out any of our sports wagering content, YouTube.com/ESPN Sports Betting is how you can do so. You'll see my face, Anita's face, the whole cast of characters that bring you content in each and every sport that you want it. You can all find it there on YouTube's ESPN Sports Betting channel. Anita, are you ready to rock and roll for some Monday Night Football?
I am ready. Let's go, baby.
All right, I got my Sunday red on, I guess, even though it's Monday. My Sunday was a little this, a little bit of that, in terms of my wagering. So hopefully my Sunday red can actually work on Monday as we take a look at this matchup tonight. But before we get into Monday Night Football, let's play a little reaction or no action, because that's what we like to do for an appetizer here on Monday. First and foremost, let's start with my LA Rams, who took an L to Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, who sit atop the NFC West at 4-0 now. And Kyler also sits atop Caesar's odds for the NFL MVP after 4 weeks. So, reaction or no action, Kyler will win the league MVP.
Yeah, I'm going to take some action on this. I know now that he's the favorite. Listen, after yesterday, 75% completion percentage, 13 of 16 with explosive passing plays, 0 turnover-worthy plays. All 4 touchdowns were over 10 yards. What more can you say? Like, the dude is balling. Here's the only thing I'm concerned about. The Cardinals have the most difficult schedule for the NFL season out of everyone in their division. Now, I'm also going to put a little action on Dak Prescott 8-1, because that dude's balling too, Tyler. That dude is balling too. But you know what? I'm going to put some money on Murray. Gotta give it to him. Been really, really great this season.
He was incredible against my Rams, thoroughly outperformed the other MVP candidate on the other sideline, Matt Stafford. Cliff Kingsbury thoroughly outcoached Sean McVay, my guy, who made some, again, super conservative fourth down calls that left win probability and potentially points on the field for the Rams. Just a throwaway game for LA. But for the Cardinals, they proved they belong as a legit contender in not only the NFC West, but the NFC, and Kyler is a legit MVP candidate. I was someone who looked at him at 25-1 before the season started. Now that value has dissipated, so I am going to say no action here just because the price is low and there's still other competitors out there who, if Murray slips up or if the Cardinals fade due to that strong schedule down the stretch, guys like Josh Allen in Buffalo. Of course, there's always Patrick Mahomes, even though he didn't look good yesterday. Matt Stafford, the guy you mentioned, and Dak Prescott. Justin Herbert, what if he balls out on Monday night and moves himself into consideration there? So there's just too much competition at this early juncture in the season. So I will say no action, despite the fact that if we gave the award out after 4 weeks, Murray would indeed get it. Let's move to the Buffalo Bills. I mentioned Josh Allen, who looked great, and the Bills beating the Houston Texans, which is, nothing to really celebrate. 40-0 yesterday in Buffalo. They even left some points on the field there against Houston, but 40-0 is 40-0 in the NFL. They will win the AFC. Reaction or no action, Anita Marks?
How could it not be action? I mean, this is a Bills team. The last 2 weeks they put up, actually 3 weeks, 90-point differential against their opponents. Their defense is getting pressure with just sending 4, and that is the elixir. Whenever I can get that word in, it's my favorite word in the English dictionary. That is the elixir of defenses having success in the NFL, is getting pressure with only having to rush 4. Now, they have Kansas City this week, which, by the way, they're getting points. I'm on that all day. But look, Tennessee, the Dolphins, the Jags, the Jets, following that KC game. Come on, man. It's a done deal. Bills win this division, Tyler. You know it.
Yeah, I'm going to say reaction as well. They do look like the most complete team, not only in the AFC, but maybe in the entire NFL. Although, if we are to consider those who would provide the most stiff competition, I'll bring up the LA Chargers. We'll see tonight. I'll bring up the Cleveland Browns, who look good going on the road, getting a win against Minnesota, and they will get healthier as the season goes on. Notice I didn't mention the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, they have Mahomes. Of course, that offense is nasty, but that defense is way too concerning for me right now if you want to compete against the Buffalo Bills. So maybe they turn that around in KC and we can put the Chiefs in there again where they've been the last few years. But I think the stiffest competition right now to the Bills' supremacy in the AFC or making it to the Super Bowl would be the Cleveland Browns. Maybe the LA Chargers. We'll see about that. Final reaction or no action, Anita. The San Francisco 49ers, who lost to the Seahawks, dropping to 2-2. Looking up at the Rams, looking up at the undefeated Cardinals in that NFC West, a brutal division. Jimmy Garoppolo leaves that game due to injury. They will miss the playoffs this year, just like they did a season ago. Reaction or no action?
I mean to say reaction. I keep on saying action. I hope people understand that I am saying reaction for the third time tonight. Yeah, action here. Look, he's a rookie quarterback from North Dakota State. And I've been following reports out of San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan even said, like, dude's not ready. He's not ready. There was no plan for him to start this season. Now, interesting matchup against the Cards. I think they lose there. Then they got the Colts, the Bears, and then here's the thing. They have to play the Cardinals twice in a matter of 4 weeks. And then also following that, on their 5th week from now, the Rams. I think this is a 49ers team with Trey Lance at the helm, maybe 2-3 at best. I'm anticipating 1-4. So reaction, I don't believe the 49ers make it to the postseason with Trey Lance as their starting quarterback.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you here. Reaction for me as well. When you look at this division, it's obviously brutal. The Cardinals are exceeding expectation and maybe the best team in the division. The Rams, outside of that game against the Cardinals, looked like world beaters, going 3-0 and beating the Bucs in handily fashion before falling to the Cardinals. And the Seahawks, no matter what you say about the way Kyler Murray and Matt Stafford are playing, still have the best quarterback in the division, right? Russell Wilson is the Super Bowl champ amongst this group or this quartet. So whether it's Jimmy Garoppolo or Trey Lance, and I do believe Trey Lance gives Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers the best chance to win week in and week out, no matter which of those guys is taking snaps under center. They have the worst quarterback in this division. And I know they have a strong team and a great head coach, but with the way Murray's playing, with the way Stafford's playing, and with Russell Wilson being Russell Wilson, dangerous, no matter whether it's Garoppolo or Lance, the worst QB in this division is the Niners. So reaction, I'm saying they're out of the postseason despite what many people thought would be maybe the NFC West champions this season. All right, Anita, let's move on now to welcoming one of our favorite guests here on a Monday, our buddy Mike Tannebaum, our GM here at ESPN. When we talk Monday Night Football, we got to bring in Mike because, like you with props, Anita, Mike is white hot when it comes to breaking down and handicapping Monday Night Football. We'll get to that in a second, Mike, but let's start with a topic we were just discussing. My Rams got taken down by the Cardinals. Kyler Murray is now the favorite for the league MVP. The Cardinals are 4-0. How serious are they as contenders? Can Murray and the Cardinals keep this up? And are they one of the best teams, not just in the NFC West, but in all of the NFL?
Great to be with you guys. I think they are. Yesterday was a huge win for them. And Kyler Murray on that scramble, that 3rd and 16, showed you that he could break down a defense, not just with his arm to great weapons like Hopkins and Green and all the other weapons, but with his feet. And that's the backbreaker for a defense. I've worked with guys like Coach Parcells and Belichick, Rex Ryan, Mangini, and they all say that when a quarterback can make plays with his feet, it's devastating. And then on the other side of the ball, I love their versatility. When you think about guys like Buda Baker, Xavier Collins, their first-round pick, Isaiah Simmons, and even guys like Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt, they're great pass rushers, but they're great athletes. So they have a lot of athletes on that side of the ball, and I think they're the favorites now in the NFC West.
All right, Mike, big question here. The Kansas City Chiefs, contenders or pretenders? Have they turned the corner? Keep in mind, they did take on the Eagles this past Sunday.
Anita, they're contenders because they have Patrick Mahomes. So even though it's still not perfect on the defensive side of the ball, and look, Jalen Hurts made a lot of plays. Devontae Smith looked good. Because of Mahomes, they're going to be able to outscore most teams. Now, when they play somebody like the Chargers like a week ago, that's really complete on both sides of the ball. I think they still have some challenges, but boy, any game with Patrick Mahomes coming in, I know they'll have a good chance to win. And next week, I know we have another game for this week, but my gosh, whatever the over is between them and Buffalo, take the over. There'll be a lot of fireworks in that Bill-Chief game next week.
I'll tell you, your picks have been fireworks. You've been red hot. Joining us on the show for 3 weeks. So tell us, what's your pick tonight in the Monday night game?
The Chargers, and I like them. I think the spread's 3.5. I like them more, at least to cover and probably win by 10 or more. I think the third receiver for the Chargers, and that could be either Guyton or Austin Eckler. When you think about the Raiders, they have a very good pass rush, but when you get into their secondary, guys like Nate Hobbs, Arnett, former first-round pick, they don't have great depth in the secondary. I think Casey Hayward's played very well, but I think when you think about the Chargers, Justin Herbert's very smart, and I think they're going to be able to exploit some mismatches in that Raiders secondary. So if the Chargers can hold up against a very good defense line of the Raiders, I think they'll be able to move the ball effectively. They have a few more weapons, in my opinion, than the Raiders do in terms of how they can exploit these mismatches, and I like the Chargers tonight.
Yeah, Mike, that makes me feel good that you're rocking with the Chargers because that was my lean as well. And you are 3-0 ATS when you come here on Bet and give us a side in Monday Night Football. So we hope it goes to 4-0, yes. Especially I do, because I think both Anita and I are on the Chargers at -3. Let's move to the prop market for Monday Night Football. And last week, we developed different game scripts. And you were, of course, correct. They leaned on Ezekiel Elliott. They didn't throw the ball as much to the Dallas Cowboys. I had Dak going over his attempt prop. He went under, and Zeke carried the load just like he did we saw against the Carolina Panthers. So I'll be taking notes since I have to eat crow. Tell us what kind of script you're developing for this game and some props that you like.
I'm really banking on the Chargers being able to block the Raiders. And if they can slow down Crosby and Solomon Thomas, Carl Nassib, they really should be able to exploit the Raiders secondary. So I'm going over the 302.5 passing yards, but it's all because of neutralizing that front. If they can neutralize that front, Justin Herbert could have a monster game. That's where this game is going to be won or lost, and I'm betting on that revamped Charger line to carry the day for us.
All right, that makes all the sense in the world. If the Chargers are going to win by 3 or more, Herbert's likely got to have a big game. He's been awesome this season. Maybe he can vault himself into that MVP conversation alongside a guy we were just discussing, Kyler Murray. Our MVP when it comes to picking a side on Monday Night Football, Mike Tannebaum joining us on Bet. Mike, we appreciate it. Enjoy the game tonight.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, Anita, let's dive in ourselves. You know, we like to dabble in the prop market, so I'll let you start again. I think you were closer to lining up with Mike last week in the prop market, so I was way off. I got to eat my crow here. Allow me to allow you to share with our viewers what you have for tonight.
All right, so let's start with Herbert. I think we're all on Herbert. I love him. Over 2.5 touchdown passes, 4 TDs this past last Sunday. He's number 1 in the NFL in completions of passes over 15 yards or more. And this will be really the first true test for the Raiders defense against a legit quarterback. I also like Jared Cook under 3.5 receptions. Max Crosby has been a beast. I think the Chargers need to keep him home to help with pass protect, so I don't expect him to run a lot of passing routes. Austin Eckler, over 56.5 rushing yards. The Raiders are giving up the most explosive rushing plays to opposing running backs. And Hunter Renfrow, over 4.5 receptions. The Chargers like to take away the deep ball, and therefore Hunter Renfrow coming out of that slot, quick little dink and dunks, 5-yard outs, quick slants. I think he gets a lot of targets, and I like him over 4.5 receptions. Those are my 4 favorite prop bets for tonight.
All right, I got a couple of prop bets. I'm going to try and scale it down and really focus on what I like. And one of them correlates with you and Mike Tannebaum liking Justin Herbert so much, and that's Mike Williams going over 75.5 receiving yards. You'll see Darren Waller on there as well. I think he goes over 71.5 receiving yards. Let's start with Waller first and foremost. You like Renfrow to be fed the ball a lot? Waller also operates in that short and intermediate area. Brandon Staley's defense is designed to take away those explosive plays, those perimeter shots. So guys like Henry Ruggs and Bryan Edwards, while I'm bearish on them, the slot receiver, Renfro, and the tight end, Darren Waller, who's receiving 11 targets per game over his last 8 contests, I think can eat in this matchup, despite the fact that Waller may see a little bit of Derwin James, who's a freakazoid athlete in his own right, in one-on-one coverage. Then you look at Mike Williams. Big Mike has flourished in this role as the Michael Thomas of this Chargers offense. Lombardi coming from the Saints, where he was a coordinator there under Sean Payton, and Mike Williams, is adopting the Michael Thomas role swimmingly. He's had no less than 9 targets in any game this season and no less than 82 yards in any game this season. And if we think that Justin Herbert's going to go for 3 bills against this suspect secondary of the Raiders, I think Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are in line for big days in this matchup on Monday Night Football. So that's what we like in the prop market. Some good stuff there. And as far as the game, are you like me? Are you laying the 3 with the Chargers?
I am. I like the Chargers here. Give me Justin Herbert over Derek Carr 7 days a week and twice on Monday night. Again, this will be the first true test for that Raiders defense. They went up against Lamar, Jacoby Brissett, and I'm trying to think who their other quarterback. Anyway, my point. There you go, Ben Roethlisberger, who should have retired. So this is going to be really a true test. And so, and also, we talked about it earlier on the show. The Chargers, their pass rush is really significant considering they get pressure on the quarterback, only rushing 4. And again, that is the key elixir for defenses to have success in the NFL right now with all of these quarterbacks who are pass happy. So I really like the Chargers. Again, -3. If you want to buy the hook down, you want to bite down to -2.5. Fine, I ain't gonna be mad at you. I would not take them at -3.5. So three is where I'm at.
We need a little graphic that pops up when you say your favorite word, elixir, and you're at 2 now. The over/under was set at 2.5 for the show, so you got about 15 minutes to try and squeeze in one more elixir reference there, Anita Marks. Let's now.
Oh, I will. I will.
I don't doubt it at all. Don't doubt it at all. Something or nothing is where we take bet next, Anita. This is where we find out if something means anything or if it's just kind of off the radar, fluky, outlier type of instance in the National Football League. You see it on your screen there. 0 remaining teams are winless against the spread. You had 4 winless ATS teams cover in week 4. That's the Chiefs, the Jets, the Jaguars, and the Washington Football Team. Now that there are no teams that have a 0 in the ATS column, is that something or nothing?
This is definitely something. Okay, keep in mind, not a lot of starters played in those 4 preseason games. A lot of teams really got into the joint practices, which weren't televised. So what's happened? The first 3 weeks of the season, teams are just getting to know each other. Teams are starting to create an identity. Now we have an idea of, what is making certain teams, certain offense fuel, defenses, whatnot. So, and now other teams have legit film to study on one another. So this is the line of demarcation. We heading into week 4, where teams now have 3 weeks of film to really prepare. So it's about this time of the year that now I really put a lot of value on dogs as opposed to teams that are favored. This is this is where things change, Tyler. This week 4 is where things change. This is something.
Dogs have been barking all season long. We'll see if that trend continues. I'm going to say that it's nothing for this reason only. We didn't expect any teams to really go 0-17 against the spread. Even if you, like me, expected the Texans to go 0-17 outright, or maybe you think the Jags might do that now. Likely, none of these teams are going to go 0-17 ATS just because those teams that are so bad are going to get so many gosh dang points. And when Tyrod Taylor comes back for the Houston Texans, they were kind of feisty when he was in there, really beating expectation despite being not competitive in those games. So I think it's nothing because I didn't expect any team to go 0-17 ATS. No team is that much of an automatic teller machine, just printing money by fading them. They're gonna get a win or 2 against the number, but we know the teams that are bad. We know the teams that are good. We'll see if the Chiefs can get out of this kind of this group where they've been placed, because the Jags, the Jets, and Washington Football Team, all right, didn't expect them to be good. We expected the Chiefs to be good, and they've had a disturbing trend against the spread dating back to last season. Despite covering this week, they're still just 3-12 their last 15 games against the spread. Now, how about the Dallas Cowboys on the other end of the spectrum, Anita? They're a perfect 4-0 against the spread, 3-1 straight up. Is this something or nothing?
This is something. Who knew? right? I picked the Washington football team to win that division. I was worried about Dak's ankle. Keep in mind, it was a compound fracture coming in. I mean, I didn't expect him to play this well, especially his scrambling ability. And what about that defense? Oh my goodness gracious. I did not expect this Dallas Cowboys defense to be this good, let alone that secondary. So this is something. Watch out. This Dallas Cowboys team is on fire. Offense, defense, man, they are a force to be reckoned with. I'm excited for Dak Prescott. Could be, again, we talked about it earlier, MVP, definitely comeback player of the year. It is something.
I couldn't agree with you anymore, as much as I hate to admit it because of how annoying Cowboy fans can be. 4-0 ATS means you're not good, you're great. They may be the greatest team in the NFL right now because of what they're doing, beating expectation. We'll see if the market adjusts, but right now at 3-1 straight up and 4-0 ATS, the Cowboys may have claim to being one of, if not the best team in all of the National Football League. Finally, how about this? The big dog, Derrick Henry, through just 4 weeks of the season, has 113 rushing attempts, harkening back to the days of Walter Payton, Emmitt Smith, and Earl Campbell. Is this something or nothing for the Titans tailback?
This is something. Keep in mind, at this pace, he's on schedule for 480 carries to surpass Larry Johnson, 2,168 rushing yards to surpass Eric Dickerson, 540 touches to surpass James Wilder, and 2,699 total touches to surpass Chris Johnson. It is something.
I understand what you're saying. I'm going to say it's nothing only for this reason. Because Derrick Henry's like a cyborg. He's not a human. 113 carries through 4 weeks would probably have mere mortals feeling the bumps and the bruises, and they wouldn't be able to come out the next week and tote the rock 30, 35 times again. But have you seen the big dog? This guy is an absolute freak of nature. So 113 times carrying the rock is like a walk in the park for him as he shrugs off would-be tacklers that he's 50 pounds heavier than. So the fact that it's Derrick Henry, that's why it's nothing. Because I'm not sure he's human. He might be an alien. For mere mortals, yes, that is definitely something. All right, Anita, I'm going to give you a quick break right here as we check in the collegiate ranks with our good buddy, Chris the Bear Felica, who likes to join us on Monday. Bear, let's get it started with this. Got to jump right in as time is of the essence. Bama and Georgia both had dominating performances this weekend, but they don't play each other in the regular season. Assuming they do meet in the SEC championship game, what would you make the spread and who would you pick?
I would think that Alabama would probably be around a field goal favorite or so, and I would play Georgia any day and every day in that matchup. I think Georgia is the best team in the country, and I really don't think anything that happens in that SEC championship game, if it is 12-0 Alabama versus 12-0 Georgia, would keep either one of them from reaching the college football playoff. I think they're both going to get in, and I think that could potentially be meeting number 1 of 2 this year.
Bear, I'm curious if you think this week's matchup for Georgia is a potential letdown spot playing Auburn. They're laying 14 and a hook. Are you concerned about the Bulldogs taking Auburn a little too lightly?
No, I'm not. I think if you look at Georgia under Kirby Smart and the teams that have beaten them, they have all been NFL quarterbacks, with the exception of the bowl game against Sam Ehlinger when they had a bunch of guys sitting out. I don't think Auburn's going to be able to run the football against that front. It's the best defense in college football. I do not think that there will be any looking past Auburn from the Georgia Bulldogs.
Bear, I know you got a nose for lines that seem a little fishy, and one that sticks out to me, and apparently you, is Michigan coming off that big win against Wisconsin, laying just 3 at Nebraska. Why do you think this line stinks?
Because it's an undefeated team against a team in Nebraska that I think a lot of people lost a ton of respect for early in the year. But if you look at Nebraska's defense, they have played very, very well. They typically, now the only problem is you have to stomach being able to take the points and deal with Nebraska's record in close games under Scott Frost. But at the same time, consecutive road games against conference opponents, very tricky game, I think, this weekend for Michigan.
All right, Bear, let's move to the ACC. Wake Forest. But look what they're doing down there. They are undefeated, first place in the ACC Atlantic Division, 1 game up on Clemson, obviously everyone's favorite. They're also laying 6.5 at Syracuse this week. Do you trust the Demon Deacons?
I trust them, but I would be very careful about laying 6.5 here. I actually would lean towards taking the orange in this game. We saw what Syracuse did defensively at home a couple of weeks ago on that Friday night game where they pulled the upset over Liberty. Obviously, the Syracuse offense is going to have a little bit of difficulty scoring points, but they did show some signs last week in Tallahassee in that close loss to Florida State. So I think at home with that defense, I think Syracuse is probably worth a little play here.
All right, something to keep our eye on there in the ACC, which is just a jumbled mess right now with the way Miami, North Carolina, and Clemson have played. Sorry to bring up your Canes there, Bear. I was supposed to get through it without that.
That's okay.
We always appreciate you coming on Bet and talking college football.
Bear, right?
That's right. You're still rocking the helmet. Love you, Bear. We'll talk to you again later this week on Bet.
Absolutely. Take care.
All right, that means Anita is back with us as we get ready to shut it down here on Bet. We've pretty much been exclusively talking action on the gridiron, but it is October. And that means playoff baseball has started, Anita Marks, and it will begin in earnest tomorrow with the American League wild card playoff play-in game. And what a matchup we have in Beantown. The Yankees visiting the Red Sox. You see that the Yanks minus 121 on the money line there. A total of 8. Got a pitching matchup of Garrett Cole for the Pinstripers, Nathan Eovaldi on his home bump for the Red Sox. If you were to play this game, Anita Marks, how would you do so?
Well, I am wearing my Garrett Cole T-shirt because I am a stone's throw from Yankee Stadium. But if I was to play this, I'd take the Boston Red Sox on the run line for sure. I mean, listen, I love Cole. I'm a big supporter of his, but he is dealing with a hamstring issue. Second half of the season, he has not pitched well. 4.14 ERA. He has not had success against the Boston Red Sox, a 4.91 ERA against them this season. He's given up 15 earned runs in his last 17 innings. Outside of Stanton and Judge, really the other lineup, the other guys in the lineup really have not been producing. 19th in runs for the month of September. DJ's out. Don't forget, Gio just got hurt with that play in the dugout. And Eovaldi has had success against the Yankees. By the way, 6 shutout innings his last outing against the Orioles. So I'm on the Boston side. Give me Boston plus 1.5 heading into that game.
Yeah, I'll take it one step farther. I think there's a little bit of value on the Red Sox money line at plus 110. It keeps moving towards the Yankees. The steam is towards the Yanks, but I think the Red Sox are the value here on the money line at plus 110. And a lot of it is what you mentioned. The Yankees offense, outside of those 2 big right-handed bats, has been a little suspect. And Garrett Cole has not been the Garrett Cole we expect when we see that name against the Red Sox. You mentioned those numbers. I'll throw in another one. 2.05 homers per 9 innings allowed. He gave 5 long balls to the Red Sox this year, and that's a dangerous proposition for a team that can put those crooked numbers up like the Red Sox can. So I think the Red Sox have a slight pitching advantage with Eovaldi, given what he's shown in his recent form. And I think they have a, not massive, but a pretty decent advantage with their lineup with what they've done against Garrett Cole specifically. So I'll take the Red Sox as a home dog against a Yankee team that up until the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season we thought was a massive underachiever. So we'll see, but we're both on the Red Sox side when it comes to Tuesday night in the American League. 24 hours later, Dodger Stadium, NL wildcard playoff play-on game. And again, 2 of the crown jewel franchises of Major League Baseball. You got the LA Dodgers hosting the St. Louis Cardinals. Now the Dodgers, big-time favorites, minus $2.10. Why? Max Scherzer's on the bump. And Max Scherzer, even at his age, 36, 37, pitching like maybe one of the best in the game right now. Certainly one of the best to ever do it. But don't sleep on Adam Wainwright on the other side. 39 years old, but like Scher, turn back the hands of time, baby, because he won 17 games this year and an ERA that was just a tick over 3. So I think it's a good pitching matchup. What do you think about the one-game playoff between the Cardinals and the Dodgers on Wednesday night?
Should I pull up if I could turn back time? Okay, let's go. Let's go. I'm going to go Cardinals on the run line as well. Listen, they are hot right now. 19 of 21. Wainwright loves these type of outings. Great defense, good bullpen, and Mac Muncy out, I think, is a big loss for the Dodgers. So give me the Cards on the run line.
I'm not going to try and mush my team. I'll just play the under 7.5. I think this will be a classic National League low-scoring playoff game because Wainwright and Scherzer are awesome. Scherzer did not allow a single run in 14 innings pitched against the Cardinals this season. That concerns me against his hometown team because he is an absolute beast. Here's what I need to know, Anita. When are we getting together to sing some karaoke? Because after that, I think whether it's here or there, we need to get on the mic together, my friend, and have a little fun.
Let's do it. I'm on the first flight out to Vegas. I'll see you soon.
All right, for Anita Marks, I'm Tyler Fulgham. That has been Bet a Joy Monday Night Football. We'll see you back here on Thursday.